Come on in.
Mr. Fournier?
Yep.
Nice to meet you. I'm Katrina Rademacher with Act Software.
Hey, Katrina.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here's my business card. If you have any questions after our meeting today, please feel free to contact me.
I will do that.
Okay, can I take a seat?
Feel free.
Excellent, thank you. Well, first of all, I read an article about you recently, and I wanted to say congratulations on such a long-standing, successful business.
Oh, thank you.
That's quite impressive, that's for sure.
Yeah? Have you heard of us before the article?
You know, actually I hadn't, because I'm not
okay.
in this area very often, but it was definitely impressive, so I thought I should stop down here and see what I could do for you guys.
Well, we're happy to have you guys here. Obviously, I'd love to get any new customers we can get in terms
Right.
of, trying out some of our candies and things like that.
Right, right.
Are you sweet tooth or not?
You know, I am a little bit, so it's a little bit dangerous, actually.
Well, it's not that dangerous because ours is a low-calorie solution.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
maybe it's something that I should be interested in too, huh?
I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying if you feel that way, then that's fine. We have an interesting one. It's a chocolate covered cherry, which was it's really good. We actually named it after my wife who just recently passed away.
Oh, I'm
But,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
We're moving on. It happened a few years ago, and but she left me the business, and here I am.
Right. You're moving forward.
Trying
despite
to, yeah. But and that's kind of how we did. That's why we had the candy go out there
wow.
with her name on it, just to try to let her live on.
Right.
As sweet as she was.
Right. Well, hopefully you'll be successful with that candy in her memory.
Well, we're gonna try to. But feel free to stop by one of our stores sometimes.
I'll have to. It sounds so enticing.
That's good.
Good. Well, listen, let me, I know your time is very valuable today. Let me set a schedule. First of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions about your company, gather some background information, that type of thing. And then I will tell you about our product, what we have to offer you, and see if you'd be a good fit for Act Software. And then we'll go from there. Does that sound okay?
That's fair.
Okay, great. Now, first of all, Mr. Fournier, can you tell me about Sweetness and Light's candy process for choosing a new vendor?
Well, typically, I'm managing this place. I have my uncle, or my wife's uncle. I call him my uncle. He's here with me. Works alongside of me with some of the day-to-day operation stuff. But for the most part, I'm the decision maker on how everything goes.
Okay. Now, is your uncle, as you called him, is he available to meet with us today?
I don't think that he was.
No. Okay. All right. Let me just write that down. Now, does your sales staff currently have a uniform system of managing those customer contacts that you're making?
Uniform? Yeah, it's all paper.
Oh, well, okay. A little bit archaic, but
yeah,
all right.
A little bit. We're kind of old school here
Okay.
and still dealing with Rolodex.
Right, okay. Well, hopefully we can work to improve that with you. And now, as, on the management side, how do you currently, oversee the activities that they're doing day to day?
Well, that's actually a big challenge for us.
Okay.
We've got a small staff right now, which makes it kind of easy because, two of them happen to be my kids.
Oh,
who
really?
work on
I bet you're so proud that they're with you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool having them here, and
That's good.
they got their start selling candy in the school systems, and
Oh,
said,
wow.
we're part of the business now. So,
Right.
my son and a daughter who work in the business.
Wow.
But because it's such a small staff, we just have a lot of FaceTime, and
Right.
it seems to work.
Okay, and that FaceTime is very important too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, if you move forward with purchasing a system, if you decide to implement it, how many are you actually looking at? I mean, how many of your employees do you want to have access to a system?
Well, right now we've got 5 people that we're looking at.
Okay. And what are your plans for expansion in the next few years? I mean, are you looking to expand?
Oh yeah.
Do you want to stay the size that you are?
No, we're looking to grow.
Okay.
Hoping to add on some staff members.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit more about that? I mean, in what ways are you hoping to grow? Are you looking to enter into new markets, new territories within the U.S., around the world, that type of thing? Can you just help me understand that a little bit more?
Yeah, well, we're adding on more salespeople.
Okay.
Number one, we've got a plan to probably bring on about another 25
Oh, wow.
over the next year.
So quite an expansion there.
Yeah, it really is, because what we're trying to do is expand upon our retail market.
Okay.
And get a little bit more into some of the school systems.
Okay, where your kids got their start, right?
That's where they got their start. I figured
Okay.
might as well go back to the roots.
Right, school systems, okay. And any other areas that you're looking to grow into?
No, that's basically it. We'll take it a day at a time.
Day at a time, right. Okay, now what 3 things are most important to you in a customer relationship management system?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you because I don't have one right now.
Okay, so you're not even aware of what maybe they can offer you.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Now, let me ask you a question here. Since you're using the paper pencil method right now, do you ever think that you might have a problem with losing some of that information, or it's disorganized, you can't access it as quickly as you might need to?
Yeah, and I think that might have part of the reason why we're having some difficulty with the management, and that's one of the concerns of how I'm going to manage the new staff if we ever get them on.
Right. So that would be important to you. And do you think that possibly could have a negative impact, on your customer relationships if you don't have that information?
Certainly.
Okay, good to know. Now, and you also mentioned that, you're overseeing all of your employees, but it's a bit challenging because their methods are different, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a time-consuming process. I mean, have you experienced that at all?
Well, I mean, most of the time is spent here in the office making phone calls, and they go on appointments to meet with some of the retail shops that we've been selling to. So, their daily tasks is part of their daily tasks anyway.
Right. But as a management side, I'm sorry, I should clarify. I mean, do you feel that ever could be, a little time-consuming for you?
It could be.
Okay. And since it is a bit time-consuming, do you feel that maybe that time could be used more effectively to grow the business, to establish new contacts, that type of thing?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Now, at this point, let me just summarize a little bit of what I've heard from you to make sure I'm correct. First of all, overseeing your sales staff is a little bit of a challenge right now. They are using an older method, and you have to compile that data and also look over different figures all the time, so it's a bit challenging for you.
Yep.
You're also looking to expand as a company, quite exponentially, in fact, and you're really, really looking to grow into different markets, especially the school systems, as you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you currently don't know a lot about customer relationship management software.
Right.
Okay, now at this point, is there anything else about your company that I should know to better direct this presentation to meet your needs?
Well, as any small organization, we're always struggling with cash flow.
Okay.
So that's always a big
price
concern.
is an issue, right?
Well, price is an issue, but understanding cash flow, understanding everything that has to do with running the business. We've got a lot of product costs to try to get the materials in, to make
the candies themselves. Mm-hmm. Okay. And anything else that you're concerned about there? Okay. Well, if I can show you a system that can really eliminate a lot of the time that it takes to compile all those reports from your salespeople, and can also help to grow as a business with you, is that something that you would be interested in today?
Take a look at it.
Okay, great. Well, let me show you the system first of all.
Okay.
And since you're not used to this, I first of all will show you how easy it actually is to use. And I think you'll appreciate that.
I hope so.
Now let me just get it started. It's going to take me just a moment here.
Are you logging in?
Yeah. Gotta do that sometimes.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
I
so.
like to do that on my email.
And you always have to struggle to remember that password, don't you?
Oh.
Because I have a million different passwords for every different thing, so.
Oh, yeah, come in.
Eric.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, don't worry about it. Come on in.
Hi.
This is my Uncle Mike.
Oh,
I didn't know you were
nice
here.
to meet you. I heard about you.
Oh, no,
I'm
I didn't do
Katrina.
it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's always what you want to say, right? I'm
That's right.
Katrina Rademacher. I'm here with Act Software today.
Hi, Katrina. How are you?
I'm
Please
doing
have a seat.
well. Oh, thank you.
I don't want to interrupt, but when you finish, grab me. We have that direct mail campaign is going out next week, 15,000 pieces. We've got to know how we're going to track it. We've got to get the staff in place, buddy. We're going to get killed.
All right. Well, actually, if you've got a couple of minutes and you'd like to sit in, Katrina's just telling me about a software system that might actually be able to help us with our sales and sales management.
Well, okay, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, not
Sure.
at all. Please
All
take
right,
a seat.
thanks.
Definitely. I was just about to show him, so this is perfect timing
Oh,
actually
good.
on your part.
Good.
Let me swing this around so you can both see it. I was just telling Eric here that
Now, just so I'm clear, this is for tracking our sales leads, is that?
yes, technically. So it's for each member of your sales staff to actually
Okay.
input data, customer information. You can have notes about what was sold, when, how much.
Okay. All right.
Keep track of your appointments, that kind of thing.
All right, great. Let me just kind of throw this out here, because
Sure.
this is big. You
Yeah,
know,
this is big.
this is important to us. And
Right.
Katrina, I hope you don't take this personally, but you look awfully young here.
You know,
I'm a little worried about, are we talking to the right person? Do you have?
Right.
Are you really going to be able to help us with this business decision? Because this is a big one.
A
for
big
us.
step, yeah, exactly. It's a big step for any company, and I completely understand that. I get that a lot, actually. First of all, I'd like to tell you that I have gone through training with ACT. I'm a new member of their sales team, but I do have a lot of support behind me. You know, this company has been up and running since the mid-'80s. We've been, developing our products ever since then, and we've been growing our staff. We're the #1 customer relationship management software in the industry.
Right.
So really our company is behind me, and anything that I'm not able to answer for you, they will be. So I assure you, I'm your direct contact, but if there's ever an issue, there's a ton of people behind me that can help me as well. So, does that help alleviate that concern?
Yeah, that's good to know.
Okay.
Are you here in Atlanta or?
I'm based in the area actually, but I was telling Eric before I hadn't even heard of your company, which is unfortunate because I love sweets. So.
Well, you know about us now.
Yes, I know about you now. Now I'll be a customer for sure. So I am based in the area, and I can be here to assist you with anything that you need, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. But the training that you'll need, that kind of thing, I'll be here for. So does that help?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
Show away.
Okay, well, as I was telling before, this is the main database. And in the system, in the system you can keep track of all your customer contacts, different information, obviously address, phone numbers, that type of thing. But down here you'll notice you can also keep track of any history that you've had with the client. You can keep track of meetings, and also different things that you've learned about them throughout the way. Now, another function that I think is going to be really important for you, you had mentioned that you're growing as a business, and he had also mentioned that you're hoping to expand into the school market, that kind of thing. Right. Now, a great thing that this system can do for you, if you look here, you see a group function. And if I click on this, you can actually separate different companies into separate groups. So you can quantify them as actual retail stores or as these school groups that you're working with. And it'll help you to better manage them, and keep them separate from each other, but also know who is what type of thing. So it's a really useful function, and it's something that you wouldn't be able to do if you were using that paper and pencil method that Eric had talked about before.
This just looks like it's a lot of data entry, don't you think?
Yeah, an awful lot of times it seems like being spent
right.
putting
And
information in. Yeah.
Okay, and that's definitely understandable. It's a valid concern. I actually worked with a company just near here a few weeks ago that had that same concern because they were using paper and pencil at the time. And what they found, though, is that their sales have just grown already in the last few weeks that I've worked with them from working with it. And actually, I have a testimonial here with me today from another company that experienced the same kind of thing. So let me just read it to you here. My sales went from $30,000 to $220,000 in my first 2 years, and ACT certainly contributed to that. The whole team has consistently increased sales every year. ACT makes us more disciplined, which we have embraced because it's a lot easier for us to make money. So as you can see, this data entry might be time consuming, but what I'd like to show you is that in the end, it's a payoff, a huge payoff, and it's something that you need to consider as a business. If your competitors down the road are enacting these systems, it might be something for you to consider as well. So does that help to alleviate that concern?
No, I guess you'll just have to show us a little bit more about it.
Right, and like I mentioned with training, I'm definitely here and I can be available to you to train your staff on how to use the product so that they understand it and they use it effectively. So I am a resource for that as well. But the data entry you'll have to do, but it's worth it in the end.
Well, and you mentioned training. We are looking to staff up. So is this going to be like a one-time training thing, or how's it work?
Okay, well, that's definitely a common concern. And since you're not expanded yet, I can work with your current sales staff, teach them how to use it, get them comfortable with it. Now, as you add more salespeople, I'm your representative. I'll come back, I'll train them. But another great function about this is that we do have online tutorials. So your staff, if they choose to work independently, can actually go online and teach themselves how to use this at their own convenience, as long as it takes them to actually learn the product, which I think is a very helpful function, and it's definitely beneficial. But you were concerned about me being here for training. I'm in the area, and that's what I'm here for.
So what I'm hearing you say is, as we continue to add people, you'll be able to provide ongoing training support.
Right, and I'll be a resource for you, definitely.
That's good.
Definitely. So does that help to answer that concern at all?
Well, as long as someone's doing it, because I don't know this stuff.
You know it's not going to be me. So.
Right, well, you guys have more important things to deal with, right? Coming up with new candies, that kind of thing.
Right.
15,000 red mail pieces going out next week.
Yeah.
Right. Now, another thing, just going on with the system, and this is the last thing I'll show you. Eric, you had mentioned that it was important for you to maybe oversee your sales staff, that kind of thing. If you check here, there's something called the report function, and you can actually go down to opportunity reports and opportunity pipeline. Now, this tool can actually allow you to look at your sales members either individually or as a whole, and you can see where they are in their sales process. So as you can see here, this just generated a graph for me, and you'll see that 5 of them have initial communication, 4 at the needs assessment stage, and so on and so on. So you really know where your staff is at all times, and you can be on top of them more efficiently. It's not going to be time consuming. You can glance at these reports and get them 24 hours a day. So that's definitely, effective, and it's something that you were concerned about as well. So
Yeah.
I hope you see the benefit in that.
That'd be an interesting way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it eliminates that time. And I know you had mentioned that you do like the face-to-face time with your employees. That's definitely understandable. You're a small company, and you should keep those relationships. But the nice thing is that the reports are more easily generated, so you're not spending your face-to-face time talking about the actual data. You're talking about the results. You're talking about, the bigger picture with them. But you're still getting that face-to-face time. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes pretty good sense.
Okay, good. So now that I've demoed the system, do you have any more questions about this? Or can I close this down for the day?
I suppose for now that gives
Yeah,
us the
that gives us
basics,
pretty much the
you know.
basics.
Yeah, the
There's
gist of
always
it.
the big question of,
Price.
yeah.
Understandable, definitely. And every company is concerned with that. The bottom line is important, right? That's why we're in
Particularly
business.
when we're expanding as quickly as we are.
Right. Well, and he said, my
Construction.
gosh, exponentially. I mean,
Yeah.
25 more representatives, that's amazing. But let me
A
show you.
little scary, but.
Well, of course. But change is always a little scary too.
Absolutely.
It really is. Let me show you this here. For the price, each system will be $200. Now I know initially that sounds like a huge investment. I understand
That
that.
is a huge investment.
Oh, believe me, I understand. I do. But what I would like to remind you of is that testimonial from before. He increased his sales from 30,000 to 220,000, and ACT played a part in that. So I understand that it's a huge investment initially, and that's definitely something to consider. But you have to think of what you're going to get out of this. You can be more productive. Your staff can be more productive. And if they're allowed to do that, they're going to make you more money, which in the end is more important, right? Now, depending on the amount of systems that you buy, I can give you discounts as well.
Such as.
Well, if you buy 25 or more systems, it's a 10% discount, and that's probably what you would fall into if you're looking to add 25 more members to your sales staff. We also have a 50 or more discount of 25%. So it is substantial, and it will save you a lot of money.
Now,
And-
can we get the $25 person price, even though we're going to be adding them sort of over time?
It'll actually depend, and I understand that that's a concern. Let's do the 5 right now with the plan that within the next year you're going to add those representatives. If we can do that, I can be very, very, I can negotiate the price pretty well for you.
So just to be clear, that's the first 5 at the 200 rate or at the
It'll be
discounted rate?
It'll be initially the first 5 at the 200 rate because I, unfortunately don't have those 25 yet. But as we seem to add them, we'll make sure that the discount evens out in the end.
So any chance for a retro discount on the back end once we hit 25 to compensate
Definitely.
for
I mean,
these
we
first
can
5
be.
we're buying
We could get
retail?
some for free at the end.
We can
Yeah.
negotiate that as we move along in the process, definitely. I mean, I'm here to be competitive for you guys.
Sure.
I'm here to make you succeed as a business. And that's, it helps me succeed in my business as well. So let's, we'll move towards that in the end. But let's start off with this.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're talking about a big change right now, and we've got the 5 people on staff, and of course, 2 of them being my kids.
Have the kids looked at this yet?
No, they haven't, and I think that they probably should. I mean, we're a team, and it's
Right.
a family unit, so.
Right, of course. Well, you know what? I see that we're running out of time, and I know that was important to you today. I wanted to stay within that 20-minute limit. Why don't we set up a meeting? We'll get your kids in here. We'll get the other sales members. I'll discuss the information that I discussed today. I can go over the system with them and make sure
Walk
that
them
they
through it.
walk them through it, sure, and make sure that they see the benefit in it as well. And we can go from there. How does that sound?
Well, we could do that.
Yeah?
You're comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'd get the crew together and take a look
Okay.
at it.
Okay.
Great.
Good for them to see it.
Great. Well, what days typically work best for you guys? I'll be in the area next week, so we could definitely set something up.
Monday's out.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Can we do the Wednesday?
Wednesday, that works for me.
Yeah,
In the
morning.
morning? Is the
Morning.
morning time better?
Yeah.
Okay. How about we plan on 9 o'clock on Wednesday? I'll call you early next week to confirm that appointment with you and make sure that your son and daughter are there with us to go
Okay.
through this, and anybody else as well.
Maybe you can get an answer on the volume discount by then too.
Yes, and I definitely will. I'll get that information for you, and I can fax it over later today because I'll be
Oh,
back
even
at the
better.
office.
Even better.
If that works for you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
When you come to the meeting, would you mind bringing a copy of your resume along?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I
that's no
just
problem at all.
thought, you
I
sort
know
of,
where you're going.
yeah. I mean, we are trying to add on to the staff.
Oh, you're trying to recruit me now. I see.
Yeah.
I don't know
We've
if
got
Mac to be
staff up
happy with that.
25
But
people.
well, you might as well start now, right? You recruit everybody that walks in the
Includes
door.
free candy.
Oh, well, sign me up. Seriously, where do I sign up? Well, thank you both so much for meeting with me today, especially you, since I'm sure you're
Oh,
busy.
I'm sorry to drop in on
Oh, no. It worked out well. It did. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
I look forward to meeting with both.